Okay, so Geeta, Geeta is going to get married tomorrow. So she says she she can't, but I will share the lecture. So we'll start with the chanting, keeping our eyes closed. Be aware of the entire body. Be aware of the be aware of the whole body. Be aware of the breathing. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Let there be that smile signifying the wholeness, the happiness, the joyfulness of the being, the sign and the signal on your face. Feel the energy. I'm going to chant the mantra and Om. Just be aware of it. Om Purnam Adah Purnam Idah Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Evaya Vashishyate. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amarutam Gamaya. Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Dehi. Om Shanti Sat Chit Anandaya. Let that smile be there. Take a deep breath in, exhale, feel the energy, feel the freeness, the wholeness. Be aware of the whole being on the inside, the space, the wholeness, the light. Be aware of the body and gently open your eyes. Thank you. Okay. So what I will do actually, because you both have already attended this, which is going to be the initial part, is the same thing. So I have saved that video about the first two slides which are there. I will start directly with the nutrition aspect because the nutrition, the one in the nutrition uh, field, our nutritionists, they can then start from the nutrition slide. So these are the common slides where they have to know about the holistic ways about Hamas, Man, and being, human being. So this is common to the mental health, mind coaches, yoga, and also for nutritionists. This is also common in terms of power of purpose and purpose of pain and pleasure. This is also common to have an understanding about the holistic way, the way in which the right actions in alignment with the purpose, opposing to the purpose and purposeless actions, one has to be mindful, aware. So I'll directly start with the holistic health and the nutrition aspect, where they can tell people, or even you can talk about if you are following something like this, because we've been talking about holistic living for about more than 2 months now. Hopefully, it may have brought certain kind of awareness, change, and shift in your attitude related to your body, your food, your relations. So, uh, so this is the model of holistic nutrition, how it looks, or holistic health. That the very first thing, there are five foundation principles. So the very first is spirituality, which I call as mindset or common sense, or just being human. So this is what is the foundation, at the top, at the apex. So what does this mean? So I fundamentals of holistic health, swasti. Swasti, as I said, swa means self. Swa means self, and sti means thai, means to stay. So the one who stays in his self, the one who knows his self, the one who enjoys his self is called as a swasti. So that is, I am whole, I am well. So that's the reason why it starts with I am, self-knowledge, right relating. So lifestyle is totally based on the holistic values and based on how your body constitution is. If your body constitution is not too heavy, it is slender, or maybe it is kind of on the heavier side, then based on the body constitution and also based on your professional requirement, you may want to work on your health in a particular way. For example, it's not necessary for a businessman, for a politician, for a teacher to kind of work too hard on their body and to get the six packs or all those kind of things, and drop their body fat to that level. So it's not required for these people. Why? Because they are in totally different profession. But right now what is happening is that anyone who is seeing these movies and all those kind of things, even actors, they are acting, they're getting into acting not because of their acting skills, but because of their physique and bodies, the way in which they have trained their body. So that is total adoption of a blind kind of blind adoption of rat race which is going. So we have to understand what is my field of work, what is my body constitution, and most importantly, I am a whole being. I am a human being. So I am a spirit being using the body and mind. So that forms the crux or the foundation. Then comes the detox aspect. Detoxification, as we know, that important detox, destruction of toxins, removal of toxins. So toxins on the level of both mind and on the level of food, we have to uh, remove, and only then we can support our health with right nutrition. Therefore detox comes first before nutrition. So what comes under detox? So under detox comes regulation and processing of our emotions, which we saw through prime change, prioritizing delegation of our work or our emotions, whatever it may take, to manage our emotions in a right way, to give right kind of priority to things, people, relations in our life, so that we don't unnecessarily burden ourselves with kind of uh, emotions or feelings or memories which are serving no purpose. Then sleep, very important when it comes to detox, because as we know, our body purifies, detox, cleanses itself mostly in the sleep cycles. Then limiting, eliminating of refined and processed foods, fasting, breathing exercises, colon cleansing, sunshine, barefoot walks, all these also are powerful ways for detoxification. So when someone says that I'm a holistic health practitioner, this is the model which one uses. I use this model. I have been using this model, and I have devised this model. And my entire aim, goal, job is that as an holistic care center or as an holistic professional, that this holistic health model is used by more and more people, because it takes into consideration entire body, mind, and spirit, and not just kind of physical exercises or nutrition. So detox is that aspect. Then nutrition itself means nourishment. So very important, what time we have to nourish. Circadian rhythm is the rhythm. Right now it's monsoon season. It's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So our body, based on the seasonal cycles, based on the daily cycles, there are different patterns in which our body keeps going through. People have got, normally, um, you may have noticed, you have very strong hunger in the afternoon times, and mostly somewhat in the evening time also. So that can be around 11 to 1 or 4 to 8 के बीच में, वो बोलते हैं ना कड़ाके की भूख लगती है. It's very strong kind of hunger which you experience between that time. So that is regulated by our circadian rhythm. Circadian is the related to earthly rhythm, that when the sun comes out and it is sunrise, afternoon, and then evening when it is about to set, all the sun activity which happens and the effect of the sunlight, the way in which it affects our hormones, our entire physical body, that is governed by the patterns of nature and mostly the patterns of sunrise and sunset. So becoming aware of that is very important to know when we get really hungry, what time we feel energetic to do my exercise so that I can use that time. So even when it comes to Surya Namaskar, if you can have those Surya Namaskar practices, that's why in our culture Surya Namaskar was paid such a big importance, uh, uh, reverence towards sun, because sun is the source of all energy. Sun is from where every life form is maintained and sustained. So having that kind of aspect of reverence towards sun, because once we say I'm following a circadian rhythm lifestyle, natural lifestyle, uh, all the nature moves around only sun activity. That's why Surya Namaskar is a very powerful way wherein you can activate all your chakras from your lower to the higher, all your glands again from the lower to the higher, and you can align them in a proper way with right Surya Namaskar practice. So that comes under nutrition only. Why? Because we are trying to focus on the nutrition aspect here. In that, what we eat, when we eat, how we eat, why we eat, and who eats. These are most important question again related to holistic. If you see, holistic is all about who, where, why, what, all these questions. It has been found out that what we eat is definitely important, but more important than that is found they have found out that when you eat means the timing of the meals, when they changed, people who used to have late night meals, now they had them those same meals, junk meal, earlier part of the day when their circadian rhythm was natural, where there was natural hunger, when they were feeling really kind of they did not pass their hunger times, hunger pangs, they did not miss their lunch or breakfast because of excess stress, work, whatever. So when they shifted their meal times with the same calories, they found out that they became more healthy. They lost weight, even though they did not change the food, neither the calories. Why? Because the body itself at that time was able to burn calories, use calories in a very efficient way. So we have to see that what we eat. Yes, it is important, but when we eat is also important. Then they also found out how we eat is something related to uh, the way in which people are eating food mostly out of stress, emotional binging, having a relationship with food which is based on certain pleasure and stress relief factor. So when someone eats out of that stress, it has been found out that when someone's stress those stress hormones are activated and someone eats food while that get a quick break and go out and have some quick food, or there is a lot of pressure at work or maybe at home, whatever it may be. So if someone eats with that stress mentality, with that anxiety, depression, then the hormones and the chemicals and the enzymes which are released during the stress, they block and they don't allow the right kind of digestion to happen. And because during stress digestion is taken backseat. आपको जब भी whenever you are in stress, what is the thing which is more important? It is the life itself, or it's your own body which needs to run away from the stress, or you have to fight the stress. So all the energy and blood supply is happening towards your limbs and legs, your hands and legs. So your digestive function, your glands, your endocrine functions are mostly not provided with right kind of blood supply. So they found that even when it comes to uh, how you eat, eating with mindfulness, with love, with gratitude, with thankfulness, with peace, with joy, has much more powerful benefit. And you can see uh, it is only a human being who actually does not know all this. This is very, I find it very ridiculous, very insulting also on part of being human for most human being. What to eat, when to eat, how to eat, why to eat. Maybe let's come to why to eat. Why to eat means that we all know we have to eat. We all know we have to eat for nourishment. We have to eat so that the body is nourished with right kind of nutrition, with right kind of food, energy. So that with the right kind of food, energy, what we do our work in a right way. We don't fall sick. We are able to enjoy, express ourselves in a better way. So why to eat in holistic way is that body is an instrument. This body, why to eat? Body is an instrument, and the body is connected to nature, to the sun, earth, water, fire, everything. And this instrument needs to get more and more fit, healthier, fine tuned. So why to eat in holistic is mind your body to embody your spirit. That when my body is fit, I can embody my spirit. When my body is fit, I can embody my spirit. For example, if someone is having poor health, you cannot even think about exploring relations of or exploring life in a deeper way. If someone is suffering with kind of poor health, poor digestion, this pain, that pain, so that will block a person for exploring and expressing his being, his spirit. So why to eat is nourishment of the body and at the same time expression of our spirit. And who eats is a very powerful aspect. Who eats means we have to see that there is this aspect of who eats. Now, one who follows the holistic way of coaching or holistic health, people, if you are fascinated by this, if you feel really kind of inspired by this way of living, if you feel motivated, if you feel that there's a science, if you know there is a science behind this, then you will know that you are providing nourishment to the body. Who eats? The body eats. It's the body which eats. And I, the spirit, the being, am aware, and the mind also eats through right kind of thoughts and attitude. So the mind also I allow with right kind of attitudes and right kind of thoughts to be nourished in my mind. So the nourishment, nutrition is for the body and mind. So who eats is even more powerful. So as you can see, what, when, how, why, who. So it starts from very basic and then it advances towards this who. So who eats? When you ask yourself who eats, that is a very powerful question. Why eat again is a powerful. How again somewhat powerful. When is really also somewhat powerful. What is okay, fine. So once this is known, who, why, how, when, and what, most of the nutrition is sorted out. Most of your health is sorted out. And where people are getting wrong is that they're getting wrong over here only who eats. They think that they eat, they are the body. And because the pleasures are related in the body, like we see here, it's eat to nourish, relate to connect. But if one thinks one is the body, one is the form, and one is not the life, then the pleasures of the life, which is the shelter, clothing, food, this red zone, one remains stuck in that red zone only. So that is where most people live their life, the red zone. And what I was talking about, animals. Animals know exactly what to eat, when to eat. Even they eat how to eat. They don't eat out of stress or they don't eat out of pressure. They eat out of joy of getting that food and just eating that, totally focused on eating. For example, you may have seen, you may also practice. I have also done it in the past. I do it also sometimes now, but I catch myself. Most people eat food and they walk. Most people drink and they walk. Have you done this? खाते खाते चलना, पीते पीते चलना. It is not supposed to be. Our body or our system is not made to do that at all. No animal, no creature actually eats, drinks and walks. But you will see people having ice cream, having chana, singdana, having food, and they're walking. So that is also part of respecting and having that kind of sense of awareness. So even animals know that what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, and they also know why to eat. They know that they're eating for their body. They need the body so that they could survive and they could protect, procreate, and do the things with the body. So what is that which distinguishes, what is that which differentiates us from the intelligence of animal? Because animal already have this. What they don't have is that who eats. What they don't know that it's the body which is eating. So what differentiates holistic nutrition really is that when I say I'm using nutrition as an spiritual, mindful, or holistic approach, this becomes very interesting. Only who eats is what separates and differentiates from our nutrition to animal nutrition. And most people, 99% people, are suffering because even animals on this level are doing good, doing well on the outside. If you see on the outside, the street dogs and all these animals, they exactly know what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, why to eat. So even when they eat the rubbish of things, they are healthy at least. But when human beings, educated, they know about things, however they are not able to practice or implement that. So what happens? They don't know what to eat, they don't practice that, they don't practice when to eat, they don't practice how to eat, they don't practice why to eat. So all this thing a human being messes up very badly. So that is something which I keep on thinking sometimes, wow, these animals are really our role models, especially when it comes to healthy living. Exercise comes next. Exercise is right kind of exercises for strong, lean, flexible body and enhanced brain function. Actually, it is because of walking, our ability to walk continuously for long distances, that has helped us have a really healthy and creative big brain, along with other kind of food sources which we had. So more and more sedentary one lives, more and more in a sitting position one is, the less and less the brain function actually is, more and more stress he will accumulate. So that is also a part of holistic coaching. As a yoga professional, as a fitness professional, someone can definitely learn from this aspect, where how you can keep your body moving, mobile, lean, flexible, strong, and you can combine nutrition approach, you can combine some detox approach, and then finally the supplement aspect, wherein someone has got certain specific needs related to extra protein, extra calcium, extra this or that, something in sports aspect, something in competition, not talking about steroids at all, but food's natural supplements. Then based on individual lifestyle and constitution, one can go for supplementation. So this is the, I made it a reverse pyramid. So actually it could have been the other way. The foundation is spirituality. I am whole, I am well. So even if the body is having certain sickness, certain disease, the foundation remains six. I am whole, I am well. It's just the body which is having this kind of thing and condition and this kind of uh, influence because of food and nature. But I am whole, I am well. Then the detox, nutrition, exercise, supplements. So this is the fundamentals of holistic health, and this is the roadmap. If someone goes for holistic health coaching, one follows this. And there is science in every aspect of detox, nutrition, exercise, and supplement. Here, I have given more of nutrition science because it's for the nutritionists who have been trained in, and nutrition plays a big role, a major role, which also has some detox aspect in it. So that's why this handouts and this course which we've been doing, I've been doing with nutritionists, is focusing more on the nutrition aspect. And then comes this next slide, the self-inflammation. The real pandemic is of stress. The real pandemic is of stress. And what kind of stress? All kind of stress, physical, chemical, mental. So let's first see what this inflammation is. We already kind of know inflame means something which burns related to fire. So self-inflammation means one is burning oneself, one is committing suicide, one is committing um, one's own, one is committing suicide by one's own lifestyle. So that is the pandemic of stress. So what are the different stresses which we experience? There are only three stress which you will have in your life. The physical stress, Physical stress would be through, someone kind of like this thorn, or we took this example in the past also, or something hitting physically and kind of doing damage to the body. Something which is kind of physically damaging to the body creates a stress response in the body. Then chemical stress is related to all kind of food which we eat, preservatives, and all those kind of pollutants on the outside which come inside the system from as a foreign objects or a foreign thing. They also have the same response. What is the stress response? The stress response is this, that the brain produces a certain hormone and it agitates or it stimulates our adrenal gland to produce stress hormones. And then those stress hormones, mostly adrenaline and cortisol, they start affecting our system. And it has got a lot of kind of effects on our system, from breathing to release of sugar in the blood, increase of blood pressure, eyes health, heart health, digestion health, skin health. All kind of system gets activated when the body is under stress. Why? Because the body wants to remove that stress. Here is an example which is given. So before that, we'll see that next kind of stress is the mental stress. The mental stress is the widespread stress. In fact, people are continuously worrying, continuously having negative thoughts, depressive thoughts, all kind of imaginations, problems which they ruminate on, resentment, contempt which they hold for others, for themselves in their mind. And then that again creates a stress in their system. So this is called as the chronic stress, because this is unlike the acute stress in the wild. In the wild, we only had acute stress. The environment was clean in the wild. There were no chemicals. In terms of the mental stress only, which was there, which was related to, if I get food, that's it, fine. Then I don't have to worry about it. That was the only stress. So the acute stress was handled in a better way. But now the chronic stress, what does it does? Whenever there is stress, this is a diagram of a stress response. See this, a splinter getting inside the flesh, and then it has got things around it also like germs and pathogen, and there is an immediate immune response that the immune system sends certain cells like phagocyte cells, chemical signals which are given, which release, which brings all these kind of defense mechanism. It activates this. Why? Because there is a foreign substance which has come, like pathogen, virus, whatever, and it wants to now destroy it, take care of it. So there is an emergency response. So you will see that there is swelling, there is redness which happens, there is heat which is generated. So there is some kind of pain also, which is tenderness which appears. And all that thing is the stress response. And after the healing has happened properly, the stress response has taken, and then the next response, which is the healing response, is there. The body becomes normal, that part becomes normal. So exactly the same thing happens whenever there is, this is physical stress. Exactly the same thing happens when there is chemical stress. You don't know that on the inside there are a lot of chemicals which we have through a polluted water, polluted kind of air, food, preservatives, all that thing. What it does, it creates immune response. The body thinks that there is an outside object which has come in, and then it activates the stress response like this. And that's why what happens, there is inflammation. This is chronic inflammation. Actually inflammation is good, क्योंकि inflammation नहीं होता, यहाँ पर inflammation नहीं होता, then it would have not healed. So acute inflammation is good, but what is happening right now is that continuously there has been inflammation and stress which is chronic, and that is not keeping our stress response in check. We are hyper stressed and our body is hyper inflamed. So people develop a lot of lifestyle diseases. So they have diseases wherein they have problems with their pancreas, their heart, their brain, their kidney, their adrenal, their thyroid. All these things, all these glands get under stress, and then because of that, they become weak, and they start getting dysfunctional. So the reason for every lifestyle disease is chronic stress. If you can control chronic stress, how? Through regulation of your emotion, through right sleep, nutrition, through kind of exercise, managing pollution also in a better way, clean environments, then you can manage your health as well. So this is what this image and slide is all about. Chronic stress is equal to chronic inflammation, is equal to chronic diseases. So if you know this, even if you are not a nutritionist, you know much more than any other nutritionist or even any uh, general practitioner. Because for general practitioner as well, they don't have much knowledge about the nutrition and the stress aspect unless they choose to study about it. Uh, so see here, a lot of stresses which actually happen through pollution, through poor diet, through emotional stress, also through environmental. What they do is that this is the cell. आपको पता रहेगा cell के ऊपर एक membrane रहता है, and that membrane of the cell is actually the brain of the cell. The brain of the cell is the membrane. The membrane of the cell is the brain of the cell. So it's the membrane which allows things to go in and things to come out. So if that membrane gets damaged, see, this is a normal cell membrane. This is a normal cell membrane, and this is a damaged cell membrane. So when that membrane of your cell gets damaged, whether it is of your heart or whether it's the artery, pancreas, your brain, your bone, wherever, if that membrane gets damaged, that membrane is made up of fatty acids actually. If that membrane gets damaged, then on the outside of the membrane, there are a lot of signals, receptors, which tells that what should come in, what should go out. So that signaling and communication gets damaged. So that cell itself cannot communicate properly कि बाहर क्या हो रहा है और अंदर क्या हो रहा है. And that's why there's a lot of toxins which starts accumulating inside, toxins which start happening outside, a lot of processes which halt and stop. And this is what is called as the on the level of cellular inflammation. So on cellular inflammation, matlab the membrane is getting damaged and its communication is getting disrupted. And all these kind of things, free radicals, like free radicals are those foreign object. Like this is a free object. You can call it as a free object, which was not a part of the body. So it came inside. It is like a free object. And now, same way, free radicals are certain molecules which don't belong in the system, but they come from outside or they are also sometimes produced inside. So what these free radicals do, they just like this, they damage the cell membranes and they damage the cells. And their job is to remove this free radical. And if free radicals can be removed mostly through these practices of lifestyle. This all which we saw. So this slide is also very comprehensive, educational in terms of giving in an entire summary of the how a lifestyle disease actually starts, and all diseases are actually one only. It's the chronic lifestyle disease of chronic inflammation. They know it by different name. Jesse, they know depression, anxiety, all these kind of anger, worry, all these things are names which are given to different state of unhealthy mind, different state of unhealthy mind. Same way, diabetes, heart disease, brain disease, all these kind of are names which are given to different state of the unhealthy cellular kind of health or unhealthy body. So the root cause is always inflammation. Now we'll move on to the interesting slide where people are more concerned about their belly fat or their fat, mera pet बढ़ गया, mera vajan बढ़ गया, all these kind of things where they actually talk about fat accumulation. I've got fat around my hips, my bellies, my arms. So we have to see that this fat which is there in the body serves two purposes. What's in your fat store? So stress loss is equal to weight loss and that is equal to health. So fat if you see fat, oil is very smooth, chikna rehta hai, it is something slippery. Also, it goes rancid very easily. It goes rancid also very easily. It can get damaged also very easily. One of the function of fat is that whenever there is a lot of toxins which we create on the inside through poor poor sleep, poor nutrition, sedentary living, emotion imbalance, pollution, when there is a lot of toxins which come on the inside, what is happening is that these toxins, if they are not taken care of, like 10 toxin comes and 10 should be removed, but 10 are not removed, only 5 are removed, so 5 are remaining, because again the 10 are coming, so body is not able to cope up with those toxins. So where will those 5 go? The body then puts those toxins into the fat cells. This is a fat cell. The body puts those toxins into the fat cells, and then the fat cells start to grow, and these fat cells also start to become damaging, very, very damaging, because now the fat is holding toxins on the inside. That's why it is not kind of recommended to go for a long fast or immediate fast or a detox wherein you are losing weight quickly, because if you lose weight too quickly without right kind of support or guidance, then the toxins which come out of your fat will cause further damage and problem. So there has to be a right way of doing extended fast also, or fasting as well. So these toxins actually then, if they are not going out, then they have to be stored in the body somewhere. So the body is very intelligent. It cannot store this toxins in your heart, in your eyes, in your bones. So what they do, they try to store as much as toxin possible in the fat cells. And in the fat cells, these toxins affect the chemistry of the fat cells. So in the cell, there are various kind of things which are happening. So in the fat cell also, there are various things which happen. So more and more accumulation of that fat of the toxin impairs the chemistry of the fat cell. And what we saw is that whenever there's a lot of toxin which comes, what happens? Inflammation. So ye ho jata hai. So from this inflammation keeps coming, inflammation, there are a lot of immune system response which keeps happening. The fat cell starts releasing a lot of inflammatory compounds itself. Means it is taking toxins also, and it is also bearing the brunt of it. It is also fighting with it on the inside, and therefore it is also releasing these toxins. So now when is not keeping proper check on their eating habits, nutrition, and all that thing, then the toxin becomes like a vicious circle. They start to travel again back to the same fat cells, and they start to damage the fat cells, and the fat cells become morbidly obese, and they become morbidly toxic. So we saw that the receptor of these cells get damaged. Same way, when the receptors of these fat cells get damaged, when the receptors of your lung, of your muscle cells get damaged, what happens? The receptor which helps your cell to get the sugar inside, what is it called? Insulin receptor. So insulin receptor क्या करता है कि there is this insulin receptor, you call this receptor as a lock. So this lock is there, and on the outside you have had a lot of food, and the glucose which is there in the food now needs to come inside the cell, so that the cell gets energy, because cell will only get energy when it has right kind of fuel inside it. So this is the lock, and this is the door here. So the insulin is like a key. So the key comes and it opens the lock. It key comes and it comes over here and sits on this lock. So this door opens. So every time when the insulin comes, and then it is signaling that now the glucose will come inside. Glucose will come inside. So when this receptor with this, when this lock and this key, when this lock starts to degrade and starts to dysfunction and it starts getting damaged. Why? Because of the toxins which are released from the fat cells also, and toxins which we give from the body and from the mind also. So what happens that the signal is not sent to the glucose door or the glucose channel to open. So there is high blood sugar in the bloodstream, and that's what is called as pre-diabetes and insulin resistance, and that leads to all kind of damage in the future. So this is a slide where we see that when we want to work on our weight loss also, what we have to do, we have to remove the stress. If you remove the stress, how you remove the stress? Manage your emotions properly, manage your sleep properly, have right kind of nutrition. Nutrition will be a lot of wholesome food which is close to nature, which we all know what is the wholesome food. uh, and that itself will lead to weight loss. Why? Because your body, your fat will now not require excess of storage capacity to hold the toxins. So they will start releasing the toxins also, and they will start releasing their extra energy also, because they are not required. And that's how you lose weight, and that's how uh, health also manifest. That's how you will also improve the sensitivity of this lock and key. Then all the regeneration starts happening. These damage which has happened on the cell membrane, yeah, it starts to repair itself, just as this thing outside we see the repair which happens. See, this is the damage, this is the repair. Same way, if we do the right kind of healing through right nutrition, emotions, and sleep, and all that, the healing happens. The cell becomes more sensitive to communicate in a better way and right way. So this is a very important aspect of fat, that inside our fat cells, the more the fat, the more the toxins actually one has stored in their system. And it's not that the you have to become like single figure, single digit, like fat, single percentage of 7, 8, 9, 10%. Women, ladies, females tend to have higher fat for natural reason, because they are going to give birth, and at the same time the fat can be used during emergency period as a fuel also. But when it comes to excessive kind of fat which happens around your belly, especially this part of the belly and your hips and your arms, then that means somewhere down the line we have put our body under stress because of poor sleep, poor nutrition, sedentary living. So then that means there's accumulation of toxins and stress which is happening, and we have to take right kind of steps. So befriend stress and learn. So as we see, this stress is actually something which is not bad. It is signaling us. It becomes bad or it becomes unhealthy only when it is out of control. That means it becomes chronic. That means chronic stress is distress. I'm in distress. That means I cannot manage my stress, or I cannot manage these emotions, feelings, or whatever it may be. So that is chronic stress. But stress in itself is not bad. We have to understand that when our body is going through certain kind of health issues, mostly the issues which are related to lifestyle, it is because underlying cause, the stress has not been uh, understood properly. We have not really tried to understand the signals which our body is giving. That I'm feeling tired, or the belly is growing, or I'm feeling lethargic, or even it can affect your mind as well. Feeling more depressed, or feeling less energetic, feeling more irritated. What is that? Underlying causes the accumulation of stress due to poor sleep. Frankly speaking, I had a very poor sleep yesterday, day before yesterday, and I knew something was going to happen. So I had somewhat kind of an argument or kind of thing with my mother, and I just couldn't I was trying to actually see why this is happening, but I slept I slept at around 10:30, 11, and then when I got up to go to the washroom at around 1:30 or 2 o'clock, I was not able to sleep at all after that. So I just was in the bed from 2:30 till 6 o'clock. I was just kind of reading, watching videos. I was not able to sleep at all. Then I said, now I have to sleep. Otherwise, I had to take my lecture also with you guys. So I wanted to kind of just go to bed and go to see what happens. At least give some rest. So I slept at around 6:30 or so, and I had some sleep for about half an hour, 1 hour or so, 1.5 hour to 8, and then I woke up. Normally, I wake up at around 6:30, but at that time I knew my sleep was not really kind of I did not sleep properly. My detox was not did not happen properly. So I don't know, the way in which my body was responding, was feeling on the inside that sense of irritation. I was kind of doing certain breathing. I did some kind of yoga practice. I didn't do my regular heavy exercise because it would have added further stress. But then something happened in between me and my mother, and I just saw that, wow, it just blew off. And I didn't try to blame it on the sleep. Of course, I had to kind of think about it. But when I reflect back, I see that poor sleep, people who are deprived of sleep, most people actually, if you see, they are deprived of good quality sleep, especially in this day where they are constantly glued to the screen. The blue light of the screen does not allow the blue light of the screen does not allow this hormone to form, this hormone, which is the melatonin, which starts secreting, which the body starts secreting at around, when the sun has set around 7, 8 o'clock, the body starts releasing. Sorry, this is morning time. This is evening time. When the sun has set, the body starts secreting melatonin, and this melatonin is a very sensitive hormone to light, which means that in the night, if you are going to watch too much of TV, expose your eyes. Eyes are nothing but your brain, which has come out, popped out from your eye sockets. So when your eyes actually get that blue light or that light, the melatonin secretion is not happening properly. And then that's the reason the hormone of sleep, and it is also the hormone which secretes growth hormone, detoxification hormone, that growth and detox and cleansing, healing does not happen properly. So lots of people are on sleep supplements, and that's one of the reason, is because of the uh, late food which we eat just before our maybe most people may be having that kind of lifestyle. They eat just before their bed, or they are watching too much of TV, or they are spending too much of time on the screen. The lights, which are blue light, immediately stops the melatonin secretion, and that's why the stress starts building up. Why? Because in the night the toxins have not been removed. So that here melatonin secretions are bowel mucus suppressed. So this time is the deepest sleep, and this time is where actually from 11, 12, 1, 2, the body is focusing only on detox and healing. This in the night time. So again, a very important factor, sleep. It is said that sleep is your nature-given meditation, because in sleep, what happens, as I told earlier, every animal has the same quality of sleep. A fish, or a monkey, or a frog, or whatever animal, if they are going to go to sleep, if they are having deep sleep, it's the same experience of healing. Unlike the dream, you may have some other dream, a dog may have some other dream, a frog may have some other dream. In the waking experience, you have some other experience. The dog may have some other experience. So there are different experiences based on the body. But based on the sleep, based on the deep sleep, there is only one experience, which is of healing, which is given by nature, so that the body and all the forms of life can heal in deep sleep. So deep sleep is nature given, meditation or nature given samadhi, where there is no I, no thoughts, nothing, and the body is healing on its own. That's why very powerful aspect sleep. I've also started to appreciate it now lately. So adjusting sleep, I wear those double glasses. You may have seen sometimes. I got those blue light filter glasses. So I wear them in the night time, and certain things which I take care for sleep to enhance my sleep as well. So yeah, and also when someone is sleep deprived, you will easily notice, first of all, they will start having weight around their belly, and they'll be more irritated, in fact. So befriend stress and learn from the stress. So all this the stress is doing, we should not blame it on the stress. I could have blamed it on lack of sleep. Of course, I do know the reason is lack of sleep, but the way in which it could be taken is that I have to learn from what the stress is telling me to do, or to help manage. We saw this slide again, that stress is all about becoming a better version and a different version, a newer, a stronger, a loving, a joyful, more loving, more kind version of who we are. So stress is only for that reason. It is not there to kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, makes you kinder. So let's bear the fact. This is also a very interesting slide. You may have seen, you may have heard about hibernation, right? There are certain animals, most animals go through the phase of hibernation. So they have been studying this hibernation in a lot of animals, but they are particularly amused, these scientists, with the hibernation cycle of this bear. So the bear goes through a hibernation, mostly the bear, of course, all bears, but the North American side over there, these one have got really very extreme kind of hibernation period. So hibernation is when these animals don't move out of their den or from their place at all. So they stay over there without eating, drinking, sleeping. Of course, they are sleeping, but they are also somewhat awake. They don't excrete, they do not urinate, they do not move at all. Total sedentary for how many months? Almost 6 to 8 months. Imagine, imagine 6 to 8 months, a big bear not moving, not eating, not drinking, not excreting, not urinating, 6 to 8 months continuously in one place, no sunlight, nothing at all. So these bears go through that hibernation phase, and mostly it is in the extreme winter to save themselves from the extreme winter, so that there is no food outside. So what to do? So the nature has programmed them to go and hibernate. So before that, what they do is they hyperphagia, means they eat a lot and increase their body weight. So around April, they are like this, and they put on almost 40 to 50%. So if a bear weighs around 1,000 pounds, he will be around 1,800, 2,200 pounds by October. Eating food, that's it. Why? Because the body knows it has to go through a hibernation. The body signals itself, go and eat, because now the extreme times are going to come. So the extreme time is in the hibernation. So in the hibernation, what it does is that, or what the body does is that, all the food which is that's eaten and it has got stored, it has got stored as mostly excess energy. We saw get stored as fat. Of course, there are certain toxins also, but this is clean eating. However, this is too excessive, and also it is natural for the this animal. So the body now uses that fat in the hibernation season, because it is not getting the food from the nature. So what happens in the when the body starts using fat is that lot of fats are broken down. Lot of fat cells are kind of releasing fatty acids or fatty compounds, and that is being used by the body, that is being used by the brain, that is being used even by the muscles. They retain their muscles. Surprisingly, the urine and the excreta, which contains nitrogen, and nitrogen is a amino protein containing, all protein contains nitrogen. So they found out that they make their muscles, they retain their muscles through their own urine and feces. So wonderful system which the nature has given, that when they come out also, they are not that weak in terms of muscle wise. They retain almost somewhat same quality of muscle mass out of 6-7 months without eating any kind of thing. So the fat starts releasing from their cells. So they develop, what they develop during the hibernation, insulin resistance. Means all their keys, all their locks, all their locks get blocked by all the toxins and the all the fat cells or the fatty substances over here. They get blocked by it. So they get blocked. Why they get blocked? It naturally they get blocked because they are not going to need any glucose. So you see, this is nature-induced diabetes, or this is nature-induced inflammation or insulin resistance. And when it comes out of it, the nature itself makes it come out of it, and nature itself cures the insulin resistance and becomes totally active. And what does the bear eats when it comes out of it? It eats mostly, what is the season at that time when the bear comes out? It is mostly spring season, the season where they have to explore for food. There is a lot of plants, there's a lot of honeys, there's a lot of fruits, flowers, grass, all these kind of roots, tubers, plenty and abundance of food is available. So the bear eats all these food, and mostly the simple carbs. The simple carbs is what helps them. Simple carbs in the sense, the carbs which are natural carbs, they help them to reverse their insulin resistance or diabetic state. So this is where I wanted to say that a lot of diet which are now coming out, which is called as keto diet or low carb diet, they actually recommend low fat, high fat, and they want people to go on high fat and low carb diet, which is against the nature and against our body's also evolution. Why? Because you see, again, what I'm telling you right now, even the expert of nutrition professionals and experts in the health field do not know it and don't appreciate it, and may not even kind of want to see about it or think about it that way. But this is well researched in the literature and journal, that every time the body is under stress, आपका बॉडी जब भी स्ट्रेस में जाता है ना, तो आपका ये जो सिस्टम एक्टिवेट होता है, stress response, what does the body tell? The body tells that there is stress, so it does not need any digestion, right? We saw that the digestion stopped. Here the bear is not requiring any digestion, so the digestion stops, so it won't require the glucose channels. It will want them to be closed. So what it wants at that time is instant energy. Instant energy kahan se aayega? If the digestion is closed and your food was there in the system, but the food system itself is closed, now where will the instant energy come from? The instant energy comes from breaking down of energies in the liver and energies in the fat. So how is the energy in the liver, the glucose in the liver coming out? Through stress hormone. The stress hormones tell the liver, oh, there is stress which is happening, release the sugar which you have held for emergency. And then when that is released completely, it does take time. Then it also says, oh, now where is the other supply for the emergency fuel? Because the digestion is not happening properly, it is not going to come from there. So it now starts to focus more on the fat cells, because fat also has storage of energy. So the fat starts releasing fatty acid, which are converted into glucose and other energy compounds. So this is what happens in the stress state. So this is a stress state for the hibernation, is a stress state for the bear, and it is using lot of stress hormones to release energy fuel. And what this low carb diet and high fat diet does is that it mimics this stress state. What does a high fat means for the body? High fat means the body is under stress. It is not having abundance of food, because here, what is the signal of abundance? What is the signal of abundance for the body? There is plenty of fruits, vegetables, tubers, whole grains, all these kind of starches, honey. This is all available. This is abundant state. So in abundant state, every cell metabolism, आपका cell का every cell metabolism happens efficiently. We gave this example last time. Remember when we said that आपके घर में जब पानी हर रोज आता है, abundantly आता है, then you can afford to use the water for different purposes and get your house cleaned, spick and span, all kind of things. But आपके घर में पानी अगर हफ्ते में सिर्फ 2 बार आता है, so imagine at that time you will use water only for emergency purposes and other things which you will slow down or which you will not use. So same thing happens when we get into the stress mode. The body uses only emergency functions of the cell and not the growth and the abundance function. And that's why I am totally against keto or low fat diet for a long term. And as I've studied and seen, there is a lot of science as well. And there are people who have, there are many people, in fact, who have reversed their diabetes, who have reversed their metabolic condition by using this science. What the science they have used? They have reduced their stress. They have reduced their stress through using of unnecessary kind of preservatives, chemicals, refined oils, stress through emotions, right kind of sleep, physical activity. All these they have reduced that, and therefore there is more and more sensitivity and healing of the cell which happens. But when someone uses high fat, so when someone uses high fat, what one is doing is that one is actually bypassing or not working on the root cause. What is the root cause? The root cause is that here there is a lot of stress and the glucose is not able to go inside. So उन लोग क्या करते हैं? उन लोग ग्लूकोज ही देना बंद कर देते हैं. Do you see the problem? Do you see the issue? They say that you reduce the glucose instead of increasing or promoting glucose efficiency and cellular metabolism. Instead of increasing cellular metabolism and glucose efficiency, these low carb and keto people tell you to reduce the glucose only. So when the glucose reduce karenge, so normally you will not have that kind of glucose imbalance. But the body will know that the body is using a lot of fat, and it will on the inside remain in that state of stress or inflammation for a long period of time, and it affects the metabolism. Though it may help, though someone may see that there is kind of reversal of your blood sugar levels are getting balanced, you are experiencing weight loss, all these things are happening, but on the cellular level it is totally damaging, because the stress response of the high fat and high stress is still active. And this is where it becomes important to where I talk about let's bear the facts. These are the facts about high carb, low carb, and especially good complex carbs and also natural sugars at the right time, of course. Enhancing our attitude and enhancing our nutrition so that we are able to live a life where we are explore, experience and express. Can anyone explore, experience and express when one is under stress? No, right? This happens only when one has an abundant mentality. The bear goes out, it wants to explore. Why? Because it signals the kind of hormones which are released. You know about the dopamine hormone? The dopamine hormone is very high when one is exploring, one is seeking. Why? Because dopamine is all about getting that reward, getting that kind of seeking and pleasure of seeking, pleasure of wanting and having, pleasure of knowing something is all about dopamine drive. So that is high in seeking state, and that is very low here. It is very low in stressed state. In fact, they have found out that the serotonin hormone, the serotonin, which is mostly which is called as the happy hormone. The happy hormone, which I don't know. There's a nutritionist who, in fact, she is not joined with us. No, psychologist Nivedita. She gave her own example. Serotonin. She was on certain kind of serotonin medication, and that made her feel like numb. That the serotonin SSRIs uptake SSRIs are the drugs which actually serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So these drugs don't allow the serotonin. These drugs don't allow the serotonin to get passed through the brain cells, and the serotonin then accumulates like outside here, like glucose. Serotonin accumulates outside. So then that means that there's a lot of serotonin, and what it has been found out that lot of serotonin actually makes one not to go out. It makes one kind of feel numb, low, relax. So they have found out that in hibernating animals, the serotonin level goes high, and that is natural. Why? That is natural because they don't want to explore at that time. They want to rest. They want to just relax over there, and they just want to become numb, and the body wants to just kind of be there without any exploration. So we have to see that the holistic nutrition which we are approaching, it is from a very dynamic and very comprehensive aspect of how the entire nature is functioning, and we have to kind of see our nutrition, our lifestyle, our attitude of exploration, experience, and expression of life out of abundant mentality has to happen also on the level of mind and food. So very important this aspect. Let's bear the facts that once you understand how nature can teach us, how these animals can teach us, and how we should be humble enough to learn and not get into any kind of fad dieting, fad thinking, and know the real science behind it, the better it is for us. So what we do, riding the waves of nature. So we have to ride the waves of nature means the same thing, circadian rhythm. Our body has got certain rhythm patterns in which there are certain changes which keeps happening. Like, in the night we saw that there is melatonin secretion which starts. Generally, you don't have bowel movements in the night. It's in the morning times. So you may think, ye to apne aap ho raha hai. Yes, ye apne aap ho raha hai, but these are based on the light, sunlight, and the all kind of electro photochemical signaling which is happening by the intelligent mechanism. So if we can align our lifestyle, these yogi people, Ayurveda, our culture knew this science, and they call this as dinacharya and rutucharya. That means your daily rituals, dinacharya, and ritucharya means seasonal cycles, seasonal things, seasonal cycles or seasonal patterns. So based on the seasonal pattern, जैसे अभी श्रावण का महीना भी आया, you people are not eating that much of non-veg, or they don't eat non-veg during Shravan for this couple of months. So based on that, also in terms of nature, you see during this time as well, there are a lot of activities which are going on in the seas, especially in the animal kingdom as well, wherein they are in the process of having kind of the mating seasons, the breeding season. So it's something wherein you are not going to, and also those one who have had young ones, they are growing up. So it's unnecessary to actually have be dependent upon meat at this point of time where it is not required. But when it becomes cold, when it becomes kind of extreme cold, then you are advised to have right kind of flesh, maybe meat, or maybe kind of eggs, based on your liking, or maybe based on what is available. So these people knew, based on the seasonal patterns, based on the daily rituals, of what to provide to the body. And the more we understand the body, more we spend time with the body, more we practice yoga, meditation, breathing, loving kindness, all these kind of things, the more and more we understand about our body's fitness as well, health as well. So riding the waves of nature, honor harmony and hormones. So I call this entire thing as hormones mein harmony. That means once there is hormonal harmony. And how do we bring hormonal harmony? With right kind of nutrition and lifestyle changes. Then it automatically, the health starts manifesting on the cellular level, because the hormones are nothing but they are signaling molecules. They keep signaling the cells what needs to come in, what needs to be done, what needs to go out. So if there is no harmony in the hormones, then there is no signaling and there is no communication in the cells. So how to manage the hormones in a harmonious way? Through right nutrition. And they have also found out that your mind here, if you tell yourself, if you give the signal, I am whole, I am happy, I feel loved, I give love, I deserve love, I share love, I experience love, and that actually bathes your entire cells, every tissue, every kind of cell of the body with that right kind of loving hormones, which are mostly oxytocins, vasopressin, different kind of hormones which are related to uh, the feeling of love, tenderness, and affection. And the stress hormones, the cortisol, the adrenaline, the other kind of stress hormones, they reduce once you visualize, auto suggestions, all these things, if you can have it in a self talks and self visualization. So that what we call as uh, spirituality or mindset. It starts with your own self first, your mind having an attitude of I am whole, I am well, I share love, I experience love. And when one comes from the attitude of lack, that I don't share love. I will not share love because I want love. I will remain aloof. That is the depressed state here. I will remain aloof. That is this depressed state here. This one here, with a lot of stress hormones which is happening, where one wants to withdraw. It's like hibernation. One wants to hibernate from the society. One wants to pull away from the society. One doesn't want to explore, engage, and share. One is talking all kind of negative stuff to oneself. So that will create all these kind of negative states on the cellular level, and will eventually manifest as lifestyle diseases, from cancer to diabetes to brain related and many other forms. So honoring our humanity, honoring our spirituality, honoring our relations is very important, and bringing harmony. Harmony means what I am supposed to do at that time, I have to do, honoring our purpose, living in harmony with nature, very, very important. Uh, so for this, again, we had discussed this: one breath, one life, many forms, the power of prana and the presence. So as you see, prana is nothing but the life force. What we talk about, uh, every form of life. These are forms of life. The forms of life are not life itself. So the life is the same in all forms. So this takes certain understanding, certain appreciation, certain depth of contemplation. So once we recognize our oneness with each and everyone around, uh, then our nutrition of the mind gets rectified, because our nutrition of the mind right now is based on the paradigm or based on the principle that you are separate and I am separate. I am this body, you are that body, so we are different. Whatever this body wants does is something what is me I do, and what is I want. But the life is something which is missed. But again, just like all what I was talking to you about, this is not my creation, is a science. Again, what I am all talking all about, this is not my creation, it is science. Because we all know, right? We all know that these are all life forms. These are all forms of life. So the forms of life are not the life itself. The life is the being who's using the form of body and mind. So once our mind, our brain gets attuned to that way of seeing of one life, and also that in all forms there is only one breath. There may be different kind of minds, there may be different kind of forms, but there is just one breathing, one breath principle on which everything is sustained. Then through yoga, through meditation, through mindfulness, right now itself, if you can focus on your breath, if you can become aware of the breath, you will see that oneness. You will see that your mind dissolves in that oneness, and you come from a space of that acceptance, awareness, and that power of prana and power of presence. So just as we take prana or energy from food, yeah, prana of the wholesome natural foods, which is minimally processed, not overly cooked, they have high amount of nutrient electrons, high amount of nutrient density, because they are not too much cooked. Like sprouts, fruits, lightly sorted vegetables, multigrains, all these are not too heavily cooked. So they have a lot of energy in it. They have a lot of nutrient density in it. So that nutrient density is what? That nutrient density or that power is called as prana. And that nutrient density actually here, free radicals or the foreign objects which makes us unhealthy, that prana kills or negates or diffuses these free radicals. So more and more prana, more and more nutrient density, more and more energy, bioenergy, more and more health, and less free radicals. And that's why through our mind also, through our thoughts also, through our thinkings also, we can increase our prana. For example, you may have noticed, maybe I also feel it that way. After I take this session with you guys, I have more of a certain kind of uh, energy. I have more energy after giving this session for a long period of time, which stays with me. Even when before giving this session, I look forward to share the energy. So I feel grateful for sharing. I feel grateful while sharing. And even after I've shared, I feel grateful. So being grateful is actually a great way to increase our health, vitality, and reduce our stress response, because stress happens only when we feel that there is something lacking and something is going to take away things from us. But grateful means I am already abundant. I am already living in abundance. There's too many things which I can share and I can have from. So that is something which is again the power of prana, power of presence, power of gratitude. Very important aspect of holistic, and especially with breathing, we can modulate it and connect. So what do we understand by pranas and all these things? That enhancing our bodies, physical bodies, also our mental bodies, pranic or bioenergetic value. So what this certificate course I'm going to call is, or I'm going to name it as, it's something like this: holistic nutrition, holistic and bioenergetic nutrition. So something which is really deep concept, but at the same time goes to the core of health. If one wants to really see the body mind health, and one wants to enjoy this holistic health in a very nourishing way. Uh, this is the only way to nurture our body and mind. So the most intimate love affair. So this is again something which I see. Uh, what we saw earlier, what we eat, when we eat, how we eat. So when we eat is more important than why what we eat. Then how we eat is also more important. So how I eat. So I eat in a way where I see this this body is having an intimate love affair. For example, whenever we say there's love affair happening between two people, or they are in love, or there's affair going on between them. So whenever people say they are in love, what does it really mean? Uh, that actually love means they are willing to do anything for each other. That means they don't judge each other. They have got total unconditional acceptance, and uh, they uh, provide healing, energy, love to each other. They motivate and inspire each other. They are also willing to sacrifice. That is something, the highest form of love, I would say, sacrificing oneself for the betterment of the other. So mostly which is seen in unconditional love, or the love which the soldiers have towards the country, or a mother has towards the parents. So mother have towards parents, have towards their children. So where they are willing to sacrifice. So I see whenever you are eating food, so of course the food which has come from nature, right? No one wants to become food. No one wants to become food, but we call it food. It has come from nature. So what it is doing actually, it is willing, it is come and it is actually sacrificing itself. And what it is doing to the body, it is enhancing the body's energy. It is enhancing the body's health, vitality. And what does the food become? What does the food become when you eat a broccoli, or when you eat a carrot, when you eat an egg? Do you become a broccoli? Do you become an egg? Do you become a potato when you eat a potato, or do you become a bread when you eat a bread? No, right? The bread becomes you, the potato becomes you, or the potato becomes the body, which means that the food loses its individuality, and then the food becomes you and loses and sacrifices its individuality for yourself. So you see, this is a very intimate love affair which is going, whatever food which you have had in your lunch, you see that is now in the process of actually becoming you, and it is going to become your flesh, blood, your organs, your hair, your skin. It is going to appear as you. So what can be more intimate than this? When you eat food, if you eat with this attitude, you are having a love affair with food. So imagine the kind of response which your brain, mind, your feelings, or emotions will have, and the kind of healing which you will have through the food which you eat. And that's why, when they go to temples, or uh, when they say that, मैंने ये किया वो खाया तो मेरा ये ठीक हो गया, मेरा वो ठीक हो गया. And why that is happening mostly is because there's so much of devotion, love, surrender, acceptance, faith. Maybe they're not an understanding, but total faith and love and devotion. But here I'm talking to you out of both love and devotion, and also rational and understanding, because the food is becoming the body. The egg is becoming the body and the muscles, which you call as me. So it is losing itself and making it available for your well being. Isn't that love? Making someone available for your well being and losing one's own individuality. That's the love of highest type. So that's why it's the most intimate love affair. Isliye in our culture, they call it as Anna Para Brahma. Anna Para Brahma is God, the food itself, or God itself, himself, herself has become food and is come to you. So approach your food like God itself, like divine itself. So that's something which our holistic culture already talks about. And this is the prime change. Again, we have heard many things about this. This is the identity, that's the meaning which I give to the food, the experience which I create because of the meaning which I give. So you see, we have to resolve our identity. We don't have to see ourselves only as the body, or even if we see ourselves as a body, we can see the other body also as one with ourselves. But some way or somewhere down the line, we have to see that the meaning which we give to our food, it has to become more from just kind of stuffing ourselves, getting pleasure, or even kind of getting nourishment. It is mind your body to embody your spirit, embody your love, and embody the way in which you are approaching life. So the best way is to have this approach: conscious human ascension to nurture gratitude and empathy. How can you become grateful towards the food, towards the people who have cooked the food, who have brought the food, the farmers, the wind, the air, the sun, bringing empathy and living with, eating with that kind of loving kindness. That to that depth, you don't have to show it to anyone. You can just, if we can watch a TV and we can think other things while eating, why not think in this way when we eat the food and take the food in our hands and chew it and bite it and kind of eat it? Why not spend that 20 minutes which we spend eating as a meditation itself, as a practice of intense meditation itself? Why can't we bring that prime change? So that is about prime change. Again, we saw this same thing about the playful soul: passionately learn and apply yours on yourself, the fundamentals of ultimate living. So it's your choice whether you want to have ultimate living or whether we want to have some kind of other living. So this is all about ultimate living. No one lives like this. It's hardly very few, those who want to explore something beyond the best of their health, the best of their relations, the best in way in which they can manifest. Uh, they have defined a certain standard of ultimate living, and then they would want to explore the what are the fundamentals of it. They would want to explore it, just like this. They want to explore it. They become very kind of greedy, just like this bear is getting greedy for the honey. They become greedy to learn and know and explore. So it's just like living in that state of abundance and exploring life, experiencing life, and expressing it. So fundamentals are to be learned and then you apply, and all that comes with passion, when you are only having that passion to learn and apply. And that is part of being human. That is part of all mammals. All mammals learn out of play only. All mammals learn out of passion to be together and share their skills together. So what I am doing with you as a mammal, as a social animal, as a spiritual being, as a human being, I am passionately sharing with you. You are trying to share with me. We are all having a CPTP, creative positive time pass, creative positive role play, and we are that playful soul who are enjoying this. And this can continue if you take this practice and then you choose to share it with others. We again saw this is all about manifestation. So people say that I want to manifest health. What does it mean by I want to manifest health? Manifest health means you are already healthy. I am already healthy and I'm going to expand my health now, because we saw that manifestation means a mind which expands. So I want to expand that health through the right kind of knowledge of nutrition, of my mind, my own self. And then I provide my body, my mind with that nourishment. And then I manifest more and more of health. So that's the secret, that I am already healthy, I am already whole, I am already happy, and I am manifesting more and more of health, more and more of happiness. This is again an entire structure of holistic life coaching for those who want to see that they want to be a life coach on this aspect, where they want to not just work on the yoga aspect, mental aspect, not just on the physical aspect, but they want to get more deep, because we've learned here very deeply. There is still more depth, and that can come with your own practice of applying these principles of health, of relations, of work, and then different levels: physical, vital, emotional, which are relation, intellectual related to work, spiritual. So everything is about right relation, right relation, right relation, right relation, right relation. When there is no right relation with the body, when there is no right relation with people, when there is no right relation with work, there will be totally disconnection. So I say I have finished the slides over here, the handouts, uh, and very basic and important though, based on the holistic nutrition and health aspect. Other things which I had explained to them in the major presentation of nutrition, which was for the nutritionist as well. So this is something where if someone wants to talk about in a very precise way, or when you give a certain summary to their clients, I am a holistic health practitioner, or I am a holistic nutritionist, or a nutritionist based on holistic and bioenergetics. So that is somewhere your expertise can be, because there are so many nutrition professionals out there who are just about weight loss, this and that. They want to kind of reverse certain things. Okay, fine, that is good. Okay, reversing diabetes, reversing lifestyle diseases. But here we are on more on promotion. When we promote health, the reverse of things will automatically happen. So here we are promoting health, happiness, and then everything which has to reverse will reverse on its own. But we give them the right perspective and science how it works. So these slides give are a very good tool to help people with that. Now, finally, this is the form which I use when it comes to people who want to uh, go for a health coaching with me. So, as we know, everybody has a goal when they come to a health coaching. You people may also have noticed that people come with goal. I want to lose weight. I want to become healthy. I want to have more strength, six packs, or I want to become free from diabetic, or free from this and that. So this is a whole health assessment form. This is the first one is mostly about a personal assessment. So this is what the person feels. Does my physical health and looks influence my confidence, creativity, energy, and overall outlook towards life? So this is a relation between how he perceives himself and how his health actually manifests. So absolutely, to a great extent, yes. To a same extent, for me, yes, it is absolutely to a great extent when it comes to how I keep my body. How does it actually reflects its health and vitality? Because I see the body as a precious instrument to manifest my spirit. If I were to blink my eyes and open instantly, what one thing I would want to change in my health or body? So they will mention here whatever they have come for their coaching. They'll mention it clearly on a scale of 1 on 10. How badly do I want to have that change? We come to know the urgency on the scale of 1 on 10. How honestly did you work towards that goal in the past? We'll know how they were really sincere about it. So if they were successful or their failure, what was the reasons for that? So motivation, discipline, family support, finance, whatever they will come to know about their past. So what was my purpose or reason behind having that goal? So why did you have that goal? Was it just because people will appreciate, accept you, you will feel good about yourself, or whatever it may be? How would I feel if I was to attain that goal I always wanted? So what if, say, all these questions gives us a coach, a professional, a better idea about the psychology and the mindset, and from where that person is coming and how prepared that person is. So I give this to the person before he actually wants to train with me or coach with me. And then finally, this is more of the health assessment related to certain parameters, like weight, recent weight gain or loss, kind of work timings, what time I go to bed, sleep, wake up, and out of bed, also in terms of how much time do you actually spend when you are in bed, when you actually have gotten up and you are out of the bed. That is also important. Most people, they are in the bed, wake up, but they stay in the bed for a long time, and then they don't, they keep watching certain things or thinking about things, and they take a lot of time to come out of the bed, which again is a quality which can affect our mindset and our health. Sleep quality, any morning rituals, exercise routine, how often, how long, drinks, any frequency, smoking frequency, family history of disease, past illness or surgeries, current medical conditions or medications, allergies, stress levels at work and home, recent major distressing life event, if they had gone to any kind of, uh, uh, separation or disease, family related issues, finance, career, job change, house change, whatever they are going through, how are you coping with it? So family support, any support group you have, your families, friends, work, religious, spirituality, whatever, what kind of hobbies you have, social work, music, dance, gardening, sports. Do you have any stress management tools which you do, meditation, yoga, tai chi, massage, pets, etc.? How is your gut health, stomach health? Is there any indigestion, bloating, constipation, heartburns, etc.? Number of meals and timings, how many times you eat, what are the timings based on understanding of the circadian rhythm, snacks and desserts, water intake, when is the heaviest meal of the day and what does it generally have, the lightest meal, so we can adjust accordingly. What part of the day I feel most energetic, why, what my favorite fruits and vegetables, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, favorite home food, who cooks at home, cups of tea or coffee in a day, how often do I eat outside, and generally what supplements, if any, are timing. So if you see, if I'm working with anyone, they really go through a total mind change, total heart change, total soul change aspect when it comes to relating with their body, relating with their food, relating with everything in their life. But it starts with mostly health coaching, because most people come with kind of, health is of priority, body is of something which is of most priority for men, for people, and the mind is something which they can slowly understand in a better way after they work on on their body and health. So I will share this with you guys as well, and our nutritionists, so that these nutritionists then can have some practical, and then they can have some kind of report based on what they did with their uh, with the people with whom they worked. So yeah, I had only this much to share. Uh, any questions which you have from the slides, handouts, and the uh, questionnaire? Also, I see, is it Dr. Uh, Nambia, Nambiraj? Are you there? Have you joined for the? Okay, yeah. So I also invited Dr. Nambiraj, who recently joined our team, who also is a functional medicine doctor, who works as a lifestyle medicine doctor, focusing on health and nutrition, both basically on the plant-based nutrition for health promotion. So, are you are you at home, or because I wanted you to just give, if you could speak, give your suggestions about what did you find, and how was it from your perspective?
Yeah, hi everyone. You covered almost everything.
Huh?
Nothing else to speak. You covered almost everything very well. I said, Yogi,
Acha, acha.
and nothing much to speak. Like you said, what modern medicine does is it has found it. Modern medicine has applied science and it has found that few chemicals are disrupted here and there, and it is trying to do a quick fix, kind of a bandage that doesn't help for curing the disease or for the reversal of the disease. That might just kind of postpone the complications, but that will not help in reversal or curing of the disease. Therefore, a holistic approach is required. And like Yogi said, if we uh, if we put our mind, body, and spirit in right place, we will achieve that.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, doctor.
Oh, yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a learning experience here.
Yeah, so this course we started about 2.5 months back. It is about to complete in this about a month or so. And
Okay.
then these interns who joined us, it's been a wonderful journey. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so they will be going out and using these nutrition, mental, mind aspects as well. There are psychologists and there is also yoga teachers, yoga interns over here. So
Mhm.
I try to cover the holistic aspects of the body, mind, spirit using certain principles of yoga, evolutionary science, and modern medicine, modern science. So it becomes a comprehensive thing, and I just feel very grateful that I was given this opportunity, and hopefully, in coming time, we can have something like this where we can bring a change in the health industry. We can bring in the wellness industry, which is mostly focused only on the uh, um, superficial kind of treatments.
True.
Great. Anyone else? Anything from your side? I know the nutritionist who had to join. She is going to get married tomorrow, so she couldn't join. But I'm I'm going to share all these things with them because I've recorded this.
Mhm.
Great. So there is nothing. Then I would say thank you again very much. And
I really like the but
hello.
example.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like all the concepts you explained, right from the circadian rhythm and all that hibernation example, and that was something which we can check in our lives, and then once we do it for us, it's no big deal to advocate the same to others. So it's
Exactly. Yeah. It's so easy when it comes to natural living. In fact, when it comes to unnatural living, that is very difficult. You have to struggle a lot. Great. So, yes, thank you everyone for those who joined. And Doctor, I will also get in touch with you about how we can go more about getting something like this done.
Sure, Yogi. It will be my pleasure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then. See
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Thank
thank
you.
you everyone.